This is Knocks on by Yasha Allah from the Lions in the Yasha Allah camp. First and foremost, I'd like to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakakodash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim that are pushing this truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. All right. I was putting together a lesson, and as I was going through some scriptures, looking up some scriptures, Googling some scriptures that I couldn't remember where they were, I ran across this little, what would I call this? Not a slogan, but a little, not really an article, but it's like a little motivational little saying about diligence, and it stuck out to me, and that's basically what I was doing the lesson on, and that's where we have to be dealing with this truth, man. We have to turn up. Like, what are we waiting for? Just turn up. No questions asked. All hands on deck, like Apostle Dahar once said. Um, we need just like how the wicked are diligent in their wickedness. We need to be diligent in our righteousness and doing this work, because you know it shouldn't be. It should be pleasure for you to do these lessons and teaching and helping wake up uh, the children of Israel, being chosen by Yahweh by Shem Yahushai to be worthy to even handle His word. So it should be a pleasure. It shouldn't be a burden for someone to do His lesson. Not, I know a lot of times we'll be tired. I'm not speaking in that effect, but I'm speaking in like, oh man, I gotta do a lesson. Or it should be like, oh shit, I need to do a lesson, man. Hell yeah. That's what it should be. If you're tired, you're like, I'm tired, but I need to do a lesson. Like, even if because Apostle Hart made the command to put out 3 videos a week, but even though if you don't have the opportunity, you should have the spirit to put out a video a day, even if you're not able to do a video a day because of time. The minimum is three lessons a week. But if you have more on your spirit and you're only doing 3, and you have more time to do more than 3, and you're only doing 3, like you doing the bare minimum is not enough. But you have some brothers out there that the spirit isn't heavy on them like that. So they sometimes have a hard time doing their 3 lessons a week, but they still push and be diligent to do it. It's all about the diligence. It's all about your attitude towards doing this work. All right. It should be always in a positive perspective. It shouldn't be anything negative about doing this work. Like the scriptures say, hate not husbandry or laborers work. All right. Especially dealing with this truth. All right. So I'm gonna read the little passage, I guess it would be called. All right. It says, do you struggle with being diligent? I think we all do at times. It says, diligence is defined by Google as careful and persistent work or effort. All right. So persistence. We have to be persistent and getting His word out there. All right. It says the Bible speaks to us about diligence also. It says, I believe diligence is a fundamental part of life, and we must all be diligent in everything, which is true. All right. It says, we do so that we do it with a purpose and not just with a fleeting robotic attitude. All right. So that, like, if you're just doing it as a robot, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, true enough, it needs to become a routine within your life. But if you're doing it without consciously, I don't know how to really describe it, but like not being a robot, doing it with passion. All right. It says, I have a tendency to be a lazy lifer, meaning it is easy for me to just go with it and take each day as it comes. No purpose, no direction, no reason. But I'm working towards being intentional and purposeful in everything I do. Being intentional and purposeful. This thing we're doing has a purpose, man. All right, and the purpose is for us to get the kingdom and bring glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. All right, so we have to actually fight like that's exactly what it is. Because if you don't believe that's what it is, if you don't believe, Yahweh by Shem Yahushai is going to redeem us, if you don't believe, you're not going to be diligent. All right. Now, there's a difference between being diligent and struggling. The struggle is real. If you're struggling with something and you're still trying to push for the mark and do your 3 videos, that's a form of diligence. All right, that's a form of discipline. You might need to pray more, might need to fast more, might need to study more. All right, but if the spirit is there for you to be diligent and things get in your way, that's something totally different for you not wanting to have or having the passion to do something and you're just doing it just to do it. All right. So I'm gonna get a couple scriptures, and I thought it was a beautiful thing when I read it, man. Because at one point in time, I had a problem with diligence and discipline. Also, there's something that I'm still working on. All right, you know, I do my fair share amount of videos, but I always feel like I want. Like I was talking to one of the brothers in our camp yesterday, DeBar, and he said he just feels like he's not doing enough, and he's a very diligent brother. And my response was, brother, always stay in that spirit that you feel like you don't do enough because we can't do enough. But that just shows the passion and the faith that he has, because even with the amount of things that he does for the truth, he feels like he hasn't done enough, and we should all feel like that. I know majority. I know the brothers in my camp. They all feel like they're not doing enough, no matter how much they do. Especially the elder, the head, Harwan. You know, and that's a good spirit to be in. You can never feel like you do enough for Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because nothing can amount to what Yahweh did for us, laying down his life. All right, it says the scripture says, "Greater love There's no greater love than this: a man lay down his life for his friends." So you have to show yourself friendly, uh, to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, and by being diligent, let me get the scripture real quick. I think it's Wisdom of Solomon 7:26, I want to say. All right. All right. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 25. This is speaking of wisdom, and this is what you get with your diligence. All right, is wisdom, and then you become a faucet, a conduit, or a spring that 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 spurts out this water that coasts this water into the ways that it needs to go. But you have to have wisdom in order to be able to do that. It says, "He that believeth on me, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water." All right, it says, this is Wisdom of Solomon 7:25. It says, "For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh and a pure influence." All right, so the wisdom is what influence you. Like once you fill your belly up with this wisdom, you want to run out and tell somebody. Right? You want to you should be like, so if you're diligent, not diligent, that's because of lack of substance. All right. All right, it says, "For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh and a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her." All right. "For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, unspotted mirror of the power of Yahweh and the image of his goodness." And we want to display that image of his goodness. All right. It says, "But being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new, and all in all ages entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of Yahweh and prophets." So we go out there and prophesy and show ourselves friends. By you being diligent, that's how showing esteeming yourself friendly to the body and to Yahweh by Shem Yahushua. All right, through your faith and your diligence, and your diligence is going to display your faith. All right. Next scripture I want to get is Philippians chapter 3 verse 14. It says, "I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of Yahweh in Yahweh Shai." All right, so we press for the mark. All right, press. It's like it's turn up time right now. You're seeing these prophecies come to pass. You're seeing the economy fall. We're not supposed to slow down, because we like when you get to when you see the finish line. Like I was watching a video on Facebook, and the video said when you celebrate too soon. It was showing a bunch of races where people were racing and they started celebrating and slowing down, and then there was somebody that was pushing for the mark that came behind them and stole the prize. All right, so we shouldn't be slowing down and celebrating. Yeah, it's good to see all these prophecies come to pass, but the more prophecies we see come to pass, the more harder we're supposed to grind. All right, let me get James chapter 1, verse 12. It says, "Blessed is the man that endured temptation, for he is tried. When he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord promised that to them that love him." And so that's what we're pushing for, that crown of life, you know? All right, so with endurance, discipline, and diligence, you can't go wrong. Faith, endurance, discipline, and diligence. You cannot go wrong, man. And those are the things that Yahweh Shai wants to see in the true men that love him, man. All right. Let me get a couple more scriptures and close it out. Let me get Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6. It says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and gathereth her food in the harvest." All right, so the ants don't have anybody watching over them, making sure they're being diligent to get their job done. They that's how we're supposed to be. We don't want to. You don't want to be the person that somebody always got to. Hey man, did you do this? Did you do that? Did you do your videos? Hey man, are you studying? Hey man, are you? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be the one that somebody has to always stay behind you for you to do something. All right. Just watch the ants and see how they move. They don't have anybody over them. They don't have a ruler or overseer. All right. Colossians chapter 3, verse 2. It says, "Set your affection on the things above, not on the things on the earth." All right. And that's the thing. All right. So when you set your affection, if you set your affection upon a woman, right, you give your due diligence to you give your due diligence to get that woman. That's the same thing we got to do with wisdom, and the same thing we got to do once we obtain the wisdom. We got to do our diligence to display the wisdom. All right. Let me get 2 Peter 3 and 14. It says, "Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless." All right, and that's how we be with the doctrine. We be with the true doctrine. We be blameless and without spot, and with the diligence. Once we have the truth, we'll be blameless without spot. And I'm gonna close it out with 2 Peter 1 and 10. It says, "Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fail," man. So you start out with the faith, then the faith turns into determination, and that determination turns into discipline, and that the discipline turns into diligence, man. The D's. Determination, discipline, diligence, man. Dedication. All the D's. All right. So that's what that's what, especially in these times, because we're so close, man. You want to be found worthy of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, so you have to give your due diligence. So with that being said, I'd like to say, Kal Halayim La Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai by Shem Harikakwadash Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.